What's up, everybody? Welcome into Sports Speaks on a very important day. It's week 17 of the NFL season. Sravan here in Washington, D.C. Eric is in Burlington, RJ in the ATL. Playoff spots are on the line for 14 teams will be going on, and the bubble squads are still left. Gentlemen, good evening.
What's up?
Hey guys.
So this is important right now. As of from what we're seeing, 14 slots are filled, but come Sunday, those teams can change and the positioning can change. One thing is guaranteed right now as we take a look at our playoff bracket from the Sports Speaks playoff mantra, winner go home. Kansas City is the only team to have clinched the number one seed in their respective conference. Green Bay will be fighting Chicago for both teams' playoff stakes. Green Bay looking to clinch the number one seed. Chicago currently at the seventh spot, in danger of losing it with a loss to either Arizona or LA. That match will determine whether or not the Bears go to the playoffs, provided Chicago loses to Green Bay. Meanwhile, on the AFC side, Buffalo is moving along smoothly, as is Pittsburgh, who's clinched the AFC North with a win over the Colts, who are currently out of the playoff hunt. The Titans currently lead the AFC South, and a win would seal that opportunity. Meanwhile, in the wild card race, teams like Indianapolis, Baltimore, and of course Cleveland in the mix. So, guys, this is a pretty big season, as you all know. This is the last week of the NFL season. By Sunday night, after Washington plays Philadelphia to determine the winner of the NFC East, we will know which 14, not 12, 14 teams will be playing on this playoff season. A reminder, only two teams are getting a bye, the NFC's top seed and the AFC's top seed. Likely Kansas City and Green Bay, which people wanted to see last year, but San Francisco interrupted the proceedings, as we all know. So, RJ, you've been pretty detailed into this one. You know what it's like with playoff football, as have Eric and I being on the gridiron. So, what you got for us? What matchup are you looking forward to come postseason time?
If the way it is shaped out to be, if the Bucks win, if they win, they lock up that fifth seed, or I think it's the fifth seed or fourth seed, I believe. I don't know which one it is, but and they play whoever the winner of the NFC East is, and I think that is actually important to Tom Brady to play like don't take an opponent lightly, but it's better than facing off an opponent like the Rams or Seahawks in the first round. You know, so I think that whoever that's not the most anticipated matchup. I just wanted to point that out. But in the playoffs, I'm looking forward to seeing if whoever the Steelers play because they've kind of hit a rough patch and they're not in their normal season form. And I've always said this that the Steelers are better when they're a wild card team. They're never a one seed or a two seed. They're just better at a wild card team because you can't take them lightly. And I still can't take them lightly because of one man, Mike Tomlin. He's just a great coach and he just knows what to do. So whoever they play in the playoffs, I'm looking forward to seeing that. But I'm also looking forward to seeing this Browns game because that's going to really be crucial in the division and in the playoff seedings.
Eric, you got any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so the game that I'm looking forward to are the two teams that I think the AFC is going to come down to, and that's the Chiefs and the Bills. And I think there's a very real possibility that the Bills win that game because we know how dominant the Chiefs are. We know how good Patrick Mahomes is and how that offense can just turn it on in the blink of an eye and score a lot of points. But if you look at the Chiefs' last few games, they've all been decided by one score or less. You see that a lot in their schedule this year, and that's not an indictment of the team's success. Most of those games they've been in firm control, but then they let those teams come back a little bit, like they did against the Bucks. Meanwhile, the Bills are just they're looking as dominant, but they haven't proven themselves yet. And so I think that game is going to be a real barn burner. And the second game I'm looking forward to is whoever the Browns play if they make the playoffs. And I'm really looking forward to the Steelers versus the Browns this weekend because the Steelers, like you said, have hit a bit of a rough patch, and the Browns are a new team just looking to get in. it would be amazing for the Browns to just make the playoffs at all. But if they could win just one game, I mean, that would be huge. And I think it would also lock up another year of job security for Baker Mayfield. Because if they don't make the playoffs with 10 wins, I mean, maybe his job is on the line next season. So, but if they do get in, I think that gives him a few more years of insurance and coming into his own as a quarterback. So I'm really looking forward to watching how this game between the Steelers and the Browns plays out.
There's a lot to go on, particularly on Sunday. Obviously, with nothing guaranteed, let's be honest with you, only one spot's been guaranteed, quote unquote, with the home field in Kansas City. And what I'm really looking forward to is what teams step up. Because quite frankly, if you don't step up at this point, you're out. So, you know, RJ knows, and I know, Eric, and that this is make or break pretty much for every team. You cannot sit around here and just think for 1 second that this is pretty much a joke. There's no telling what will happen come postseason. Once we know who the field is, then of course we can make a prediction. It's like with the NBA playoffs. Yeah, you're gonna have a team as a 1-2 seed or a 2 or a 3, even a 5 or a 6 for crying out loud. I don't want to be disrespectful to 4, 7, and 8, but that's just how it is. And if the NFL were to ever expand to an 8 field, that would make for good TV. But right now we're at where we're at, and we know some
Let me
teams are losing. Some coaches are losing their jobs.
let me put out
Doug
one
Marone will
thing.
probably be out. Adam Gase, we all know that for sure. And looking forward to it. RJ, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Put out one thing that the most interesting part about the playoffs this year is that we have a lot of teams that have a quarterback that's on their last leg. You know, you can argue that this is Aaron Rodgers' last chance to win a Super Bowl with Green Bay. You can definitely argue that. It's definitely Drew Brees' last chance to win a Super Bowl in general. And then Phillip Rivers, he just came out earlier today, said that he's strongly considering retiring this year. So the next couple of weeks are going to really tell. And the pressure is on, especially when it comes to teams like the Saints and Packers. As I've been saying it, those two quarterbacks, Rodgers and Brees in the NFC, is their this could be like their last chance to win the Super Bowl.
And another thing that's interesting about this playoffs is going to be the reduced capacity in the stadiums and in some cases no capacity. Because one of the things that's especially tough about playing the Chiefs is Arrowhead Stadium. It's known for being really loud, really rowdy, and causing a lot of noise. But you're not going to have that if you're going up against them in the playoffs this year, which again adds another interesting element to that Bills game. Maybe without all that crowd noise,
Actually, the Bills do have
they
some
have a better
fans coming
shot.
in.
They got some fans coming in actually.
6,775, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be coming in. And adding to Green Bay, they just added Snacks Harrison today. So in a 3-4 system, let's just say Tampa Bay were to win against the NFC East team. Let's just say that for sake of argument. To go to Green Bay, last time Green Bay didn't have a guy that could stop the run easily. Now I got Snacks Harrison. So there's a lot going on. And
Well, I want to talk about Green Bay.
Bills are looking into guys like Kenny Stills, if I'm not mistaken. So they're loading up come postseason. They want to make a real run.
I want to talk about Green Bay for a second because they're an interesting team. Before the season, everybody was saying that, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have that second weapon to opposite of Devontae Adams and stuff. And then they beat the Saints without Devontae Adams, with Alan Lazard and I forgot the other dude's name. But
Marquez Valdez Scantling.
Yeah, that dude. I like that dude actually. Every year, and I'm gonna play a little media bias here. They bring up, the Packers and how they're gonna be good and they're going to the Super Bowl and all that. And this is one of the reasons why I think that whole team has a lot of pressure on them because if they lose, what are we gonna say? Because the biggest knock on the Packers is the last years they can't beat a physical team. They got destroyed by the 49ers in line of scrimmage. They got destroyed by the Bucks this year. I mean, there's gonna at some point you're gonna have to look at Rodgers because Rodgers, as clutch as he is, as great of a QB he is, he doesn't have a great track record in the playoffs since I believe 2014, 2016. Like,
After that Super Bowl run to which he played a bunch of mediocre competition, yeah.
yeah, I'm not knocking him or the Packers at all. I'm just saying every year the Packers are like deemed to be the favorites to come out of the NFC.
Darlings.
Like the darlings, or you know, even when Rodgers has like a performance at the Titans, I'm hearing guys say that the Packers are the only team in the NFL that can beat the Chiefs. I disagree with that, but because it's any given Sunday, and I think that people are forgetting that. And there's gonna I in my opinion, I think that the one seed, I think the one seed in whoever conference, there's gonna be at least one seed that loses in the playoffs this year. I don't think it's gonna be like 1-1. I think it's gonna be like one in the Super Bowl. I think it's gonna be like the one seed out of one conference is gonna go against like the 4 seed from this conference in the Super Bowl. I don't know.
I mean, strange things have happened. And Eric, I'm going to ask you this one. You've seen what people are saying from the offseason with Kansas City till now. And we know they're going to rest. They've come out and said that they're going to rest a couple of guys against, if I'm not mistaken, the Chargers is who they're playing in the season finale, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it's the Broncos.
Broncos, okay. So they're going to rest a couple of people. So
They
whoever
already
they're
played
playing,
the
we're not
Broncos.
sure yet, guys. Don't get on us about that. We're not sure who they're playing. We just know they're going to rest a couple of guys. So we're gonna be. It'll be interesting to see there. But
So
Eric,
what's your question?
my question is: doesn't the Chiefs team kind of give a vibe of 2011's Packers, winning too many close games and then a potentially first game exit?
No, I really don't think they're going to be a first round exit, but I also am not ready to put them in the Super Bowl. I mean, they're the best team in the league. There's no question about that. Best all around. But you also have to think about what the Bills have done this year. And again, like I said, limited capacity, all these things, like I said, I think the AFC is going to come down to the Chiefs or the Bills. And I'm not ready to just surrender that to the Chiefs automatically. I think that's going to be a great game, one for the ages. But, if you ask me who my AFC pick is right now, it would be the Chiefs. But I don't know. There are some teams that I think could surprise people.
Georgia, you want to wrap this up?
Well, let me go after this because I have a lot to say about the Chiefs. Everything that Eric said was 100% correct. The Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. You have to concede that. It's the same thing with every Super Bowl champion. Until they get knocked off, they're the best team. And they've proven that the whole season. But let me say this. I don't agree with you on the Packers point. I think Sravan, I agree with Sravan. I think the Chiefs give a lot of vibes from the 2011 Packers. It doesn't mean that they'll lose in they're losing like the division round. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. But I think the Chiefs, out of all the teams in the NFL, as far as media, regular football fans, they have the most pressure to win the Super Bowl because they have to win. If they don't win the Super Bowl this year, it will be a failure because they are the media darlings. They're deemed to become a dynasty, all this and all that. And if it wasn't for all that, I wouldn't be saying that. I wouldn't say that, but I think that they have to win the Super Bowl this year. If they don't, there's going to be a lot of excuses. I think that's going to come around, a lot of excuses, but that's a different discussion for another day. I'll say that.
Right. Well, anytime you're the defending champion, it's going to be Super Bowl or bust. That's going to be pretty much everyone's attitude. But I don't think you could say if they don't win it, this year will be a failure.
That's why I look at it.
I think that they have a lot of time. Mahomes is going to be around for a while. Kelsey's probably going to be around for a little while too. Tyreek Hill, Chris Jones, all these guys, they've set up their organization for the future very well. So even if they don't win it all this year, we're going to be talking about them as favorites for probably the next 5 years at least. So
Only time will tell at this point of what's going to happen. For all of you guys out there watching, please make sure to subscribe down below and understand the playoffs. Whether you guys have whatever channel package you guys have, please tune in to the playoffs because this is going to be critical, particularly week 17. For all of you guys keeping your brackets out there, by the time Sunday Night Football is over, you'll know who your 14 teams are and what other 18 teams are going to be preparing for the draft. We know Jacksonville has clinched the number 1 pick because of the Browns losing to the Jets, albeit through the Jets' way of just being who they are. Jets will likely have number 2 Cincinnati's victory, drop some lower in the positioning. New England's loss to Buffalo has currently us
Losing the Jets too.
potentially looking at a top 10 pick, but ultimately time will tell. We will know the top 18 selections by Sunday night. And for all of you guys watching out there, just understand this is getting critical for us here at Sports Beast. We're going to be following along the postseason, including NBA and Major League Baseball action. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. And as always, keep it real.